All right. We're back. Episode 36, Tristan Cassis. And next episode, we're going to have number 37, Hideki Okajima. Moving on.
Not gonna lie, it makes me very sad we don't have Darude anymore.
Yeah, you know,
Just doesn't give the
Riverside,
same vibe right off the rip anymore.
Yeah, although we're not getting copyright claims in Scandinavia anymore.
True. That's true. We can actually be watched over in Russia and all of those places.
It's true story. Not that we're like even claiming ad revenue for these videos anyways, so I don't know why copyright matters.
Speaking of people watching us, we did get like 4 new subscriptions this week, which is pretty dope. So
shout out if you're a newbie.
Appreciate everybody.
And shout out everybody that's been tuning in since the beginning.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Gonna keep it rolling.
Chris, you want to kind of take the reins today? You put together the agenda, so you can take
start with line 1 and move our way down.
Yeah.
Make sure to talk about 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the thing open, but I have it right here.
It's okay.
Okay. You know what? You guys are fucking.
No. Don't say you guys. It wasn't all of us.
You're all accountability. Terrible, and that's getting out of here.
There was one who had the idea, and the other who put it in the correct order.
Hey,
so
listen,
I'm guessing
it was a joint effort.
Yeah. Well, you're both fired. Thank you for coming.
If I'm fired, then you're fired.
And if I'm fired, then Cam and Jared are both fired, and Bush League boys are no more.
If we're fired, they don't have a boss. I don't know. Jared's taking over.
Cool.
Sweet. Well, hope you guys like Bruins. Bruins talk.
Yeah. So on the agenda, we'll just do a quick rundown of the agenda. We're going to talk a little bit on spring training, obviously, as that kind of kicked off this week. Expectations for the Red Sox and what we think their predictions are going to be going forward. Possible predictions for the Red Sox 26-man opening day roster. Free agent signings that are going on and who's still available. Bruins kind of giving everybody a little scare after the start that they've had, what their direction is. And then Celtics looking like they are going to absolutely dismantle every single team in the NBA for the next 2 months. And then we'll finish it off with our Mount Rushmore. So obviously spring training opening up 2 days ago. I don't know if we want to kind of take a little look into how everybody's doing so far, or if we want to just focus on the Red Sox, or how do we...
Yeah, I mean, I think spring training in general, I think you can kind of just brush over kind of everything we saw. I mean, you had Corbin Burns getting his first start with the Orioles, looking like vintage Corbin Burns, looking really sharp already. Yeah, just the Dodgers basically.
Dodgers are already 3-0, so they're
Dodgers doing what you expect of the Dodgers. Although the Dodgers have also played their starters quite a bit in those games.
I mean, they have to, right? They need to get their teams going now because they open on March 20th. They're opening a week earlier than everybody else.
Yeah, I also feel like they're in a different instance too, where they have so many big names. And there's so many new big names that you probably want all those guys out there on the field together to kind of get that chemistry rolling a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the biggest thing for them. That's going to be their biggest hurdle this year. It's not going to be any actual on-field personnel. It's going to be how they mesh.
Yeah.
So I can see maybe that's why they're starting all their
realistically,
guys.
they only have... So I was talking about it, I should say, a little bit earlier today. Most teams have probably 5 weeks, right, from today until their opening game. The Dodgers have a little less than 4, and you figure they're going to need travel time to get to Korea. So they're they play the 20th and the 21st. They're probably leaving on the 14th or the 15th so they can get acclimated.
Yeah.
I mean, so their spring training is realistically probably wrapping up in 18 to 19 days.
Well, I think Shohei's not going with them to Korea, right?
I'm not sure.
I think I read that he's not. I think that they said he's going to be ready like for a regular opening weekend. Like not this early one.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he'll probably go. He just won't play, maybe. I don't know.
Although he's been hitting the shit out of the ball and looking really good in live BP. I don't know why he wouldn't need a DH.
Freaky.
There's very minimal risk involved in his situation.
Yeah. Just absolute stallion of a man that Shohei Ohtani is. He just, I don't know why they wouldn't bring him. Like, they're actual games. They're games that matter.
Right.
So I'm not sure. I'd be surprised if they didn't end up taking him, but then again, what do I know? So I mean, we don't need to really take an in-depth look yet into teams and all their happenings. It's obviously still very early to kind of do that. But what we can take a deeper look into is the Red Sox, as we're staying up to date with them as days go by, and what we think our predictions are going to be for them this year. So we can kind of just go around the table this year. If Cam, Sam, or Jared, if one of you guys want to kick off on what you think the lookalikes are going to be for the Sox this year and where we're going to finish, and we can kind of all chip in on that.
I mean, I think it's going to be very similar to last year. I don't think it's going to be much different. I think it's going to be another. You look at the division that the Red Sox are in, and they'll finish right around 500. They're going to finish dead last. It's going to be kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, it's a horrible year, where in reality they finish right around 500 again. I'm thinking like 80 and 82, 78 and 84, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that it'll be between, like, they'll be on either side of like 5 games from 500. I think if they go get Montgomery, which I don't think is likely, I think that they could push that envelope of maybe getting 5-10 games over 500 and maybe finishing 3rd or 4th in the division, which obviously in the AL East, you finish 3rd, you're probably going to be in a wild card spot. It's basically you're either going to be you'll get a wild card spot, or the second best team in the West will get a wild card spot. Nobody from the Central is getting a wild card. So, I mean, it's a toss up, but I really think it's delta 5 games on either side of 500.
Am I wrong for saying I don't think I really want the Red Sox at this point in time to get Montgomery? I'm at the point now where I'm just like, just go full suck. Like,
well, that's kind of where I'm at too. I'm like, if we haven't made a push, it's February 25th. If we haven't made a push to get him at this point, it kind of shows as an organization and as a front office where we are and what our plan is. He's a proven. Most teams he's probably a 3. For us, he would probably be a 1 or a 2.
1 or 2. Yeah.
But I mean, if we haven't made a bid at him at this point, I don't know.
I read an article. It was, I forget who it was. And they had kind of they'd spoken to Montgomery's agent, and apparently the Red Sox had fielded Montgomery's offer, like what he was looking for. It's well within the salary cap, but it's not within the Red Sox quote unquote budget for the season. How much of a joke is that? If you really don't want to be like, it doesn't make sense to me. And like, here's the thing where like, like you can go full suck and obviously your odds go up for a higher draft pick. We've seen with how the baseball draft works, like where it's a random, your odds go up based on like where your draft order sits. But like the thing is with a baseball draft pick, unless it's a Jackson Holiday or a Paul Skeens, these like generational guys coming out of like just super, super, super plus side at a young age, you're not seeing those guys for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah. And, even with that, I hate the thing like, we're building through the draft. You can't sell fans for years and years and years. Oh, we're building through the draft
right.
in baseball. Because like you just said, you don't see those guys for 3, 4, 5. It's not like the NFL where you
and even like the NBA, right?
1-1. And
you got those guys that are going to be ready, or like those guys who are going to be like, all right, that's an impact player. Maybe not this year, but next year he'll be an impact player. Like, to be honest, you look through MLB superstars now, like those guys are drafted all over the fucking board, and I'm not just talking round 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. Yeah. So if you're saying like we're building from the draft, fucking everyone is.
Yeah, literally.
Like every single team in baseball, that's what the draft is for. So that's another empty excuse that means nothing.
Look at who, like Kyle Teal, good example for the Red Sox.
Right.
People who, like us, 3, 4, we're excited about him but we know he's not coming until
probably 2 years,
2027.
Right.
So sorry, my computer just started making noises. Like we know he's not going to be there for a couple years now. So you can't get me excited for the 2024 season with Kyle fucking Teal. Like that's
it's a really good point. Actually, it's a really good point.
That's like if you kind of like what you guys have said, where they say like, oh, the prospects coming up, blah blah blah, like building for the future, won't see them for a few years, but that's not going to make us happy. Like we want them to see, we want to see the Sox do well now.
Yeah,
we don't like. It'll be great 5 years from now. Like say they got a star-studded lineup with all these like young players and these superstars, but
the
we don't want to
wait
that
doesn't
5
win
years.
Games still.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to have that infrastructure,
and not to mention too, you're banking on you think you're going to hit every single guy you draft. You're going to hit on,
right?
Like Kyle Teal could turn out to be a bust.
Yeah,
Marcelo Meyer, he was lighting the world on fire 2 years ago. I'm not as excited about him anymore. He kind of cooled off a little bit when he got to AA.
He's still our number one prospect. He's not. Marcelo
Roman Anthony went over him. Yeah.
I think he's like a third or fourth prospect now.
No, he's 2.
Is he
Roman Anthony overtook him this year.
Didn't light the world on fire today either. So let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
He's still a top 5 prospect in the organization.
It's just
we'll leave it at
so
that.
you look at. So you say again, you're investing in the draft. That's how you're going to build, right? Look at a team like the Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they've put those teams together, and they have these prospects coming up. But you also have to invest in those 1 year, 2 year contracts from veterans, proven guys. You have to build around it. Yeah. So I mean, like, you just have to. I guess they expect us to just take their word that when these guys show up, they'll start spending money on those 1 year, 2 year, 3 year contracts of big league proven guys to build out around these prospects. Because I mean, even the Diamondbacks, right? Prospect loaded team. Who else did they have though? Joe Mantiply. They got freaking Evan Longoria. They have veterans that were also on that team that you have to have those guys around prospects. So it's like, again, you're putting out these ideas that, oh, we're banking on the draft, we're banking on prospects. Prospects don't win championships.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually they help you get there, but you don't build out a team of prospects. It just doesn't work.
You know who we're a couple years away from being like where it'd be dark times in Boston if we ever get like this, but the fucking Oakland A's. Like every good prospect, like we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Are we convinced they're going to pay any of the prospects we have? It's like true. There's just now been talks about them, coming out. They're doing extension talks with Bayo and Cassis, but there's nothing been signed yet. We don't know if that's true.
It's just a silly thing, right? Because like you look at how things went with Xander Bogaerts, right?
Yeah.
Where they could have, in theory, right? Like, look at what the Braves have done with Michael Harris, with Austin Riley,
Vaughn Grisham, but
with Ozzie Albies, with Sean Murphy. All these guys come in under arbitration, and before they can reach arbitration and go free agent, they sign these contracts that lock them up. Like the fucking Mariners with Julio Rodriguez. Like, if you want to be stingy the right way. And that's the fucking right way to do it. Because 1, you're getting franchise players, and 2, you're getting them at a fucking discount. A discount is an understatement. Like, what was Julio Rodriguez was like 8 years, 110 or something stupid. Like, just like absurd. Where you just pay, where Bellinger just got 3 years for 80. And
Julio's was 12 for 209.
Same ballpark though. That's insane. That's so cheap.
Even Michael Harris, right? Michael Harris' contract was
like we're beating a dead horse at this point. Like we talk about this all the time. Like if you want to be cheap the right way and invest in your guys so that because contracts like those pay for themselves. They do.
Yeah.
They just pay for themselves. There's literally zero risk involved with contracts like that.
Michael Harris was sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Michael Harris was 8 for 72, fully guaranteed.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane for him.
Yeah.
Less than 10 AAV for that guy, where last year, I think was his first year under that contract, he could be an all-star for 5 out of those next 6 years.
Yeah. The I just hate the fact that we're having the same conversation we had in 2020 when we have to trade Mookie Betts. We're having it 4 years later.
Well, that's what I mean.
Like, it's
you
just
can avoid. They could have avoided the Mookie Betts situation. They could have avoided the Xander Bogaerts situation by doing what? Signing players before they turn into UFAs, and they can go get bajillion-dollar contracts. Show loyalty, give them money that's guaranteed right up front, and you're going to get them at a discount, and then you're not going to piss fans off. Like it seems like a no-brainer, especially from a team in a sports city like Boston and a massive investment group that they have. Like, it just seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So real quick, talking about this, did you guys see what Scott Boras said the other day?
Can only imagine.
So this is a long one, but bear with me. Players that have made commitments to their franchises, they're crying out. They were told by ownership they had a common goal of winning. We're seeing those situations now where the players are serving as the litmus test for the commitment to winning. Who the fuck does that sound like?
Mike Trout?
Raffy Devers?
Well, it sounds like Mike Trout on the positive side of it.
Okay, but
where he was
Devers
told when he signed that huge contract, and then they were like, we're going to build teams to compete, and they just never did.
Yeah.
Mike Trout's the first one that comes to mind for me.
It's starting to look like the Red Sox here, where we told Devers we're committed to winning, sign him, and
you got to pump that. I mean, like, you can speculate that he's obviously still at the very beginning of that contract, where Trout is 7, 8, 9 years down in his.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear committed to winning. I think, okay, you're committed to winning at the beginning of my contract, not at the end, and that's just me with that.
See, here's like Red the Sox. Thing, right? Like, I don't need them to be competing for a World Series every year.
No, but compete in your own division.
Just show that you're doing something to try to make the on-field product better.
Yeah.
Make moves, pull some strings, do something. Like, just do something to make, like, just be a competitive team. Because at this point, they're not a competitive team at all. Look at the pitching staff. It's not a competitive pitching staff.
I actually want to talk about that a little bit more, and we will as we get on. I really don't think it's as bad as it looks. I really don't.
I don't think it's. But again, it's you're putting it up against the teams in the division that we play in, that the Red Sox play in.
Not even necessarily that. I really don't think pitching in our division is as big of a problem as offenses are. Like the Orioles, they got Corbin Burns, great. You have the Orioles have Kyle Bradish. You have John Means, who can never stay healthy. You have Dean Kremer. Like they're guys. They're good. Like Tampa Bay, I don't even know who Tampa Bay has for starters anymore. Toronto,
what is our staff? I just typed out Bayo, Giolito, Crawford, Houck, Pivetta. I know that's not right. I know.
So Bayo, I was listening to this during the game yesterday. Bayo, Giolito, and Crawford are basically the 3 guarantees to be starters right now.
Okay.
Pivetta is on the edge of essentially being that 4th starter, and then Houck, Winkowski, and Whitlock are the 3 that are going to be duking it out for that 5th
Say
spot.
what you want. I would so much rather see Whitlock out of the bullpen.
Yeah, so would I.
So
I think he's so good out of the
listening
bullpen.
to the way that things were talking yesterday, I'm putting it out there right now. Whitlock's going to get the 5th starter spot.
Probably.
I don't like that.
They're working him as a starter. They're trying to get him into that starter role, that mentality, that physical build. It's just all the signs point to him being that guy instead of Winkowski or fucking Houck.
Winkowski probably turns into that 6th, 7th inning guy, and Pivetta is your long reliever.
Pavetta's going to be a starter.
No, I thought you said that.
No, Pavetta's 4.
Oh, he's for the 4 still?
Yeah.
That's right. You said for the 4 spot.
So Crawford and Pivetta could be a toss-up for 3-4, but both of those guys will be in there. And then it'll be Houck, Whitlock, and Winkowski duking it out. Whitlock's, in my opinion, is going to get it, and then Houck and Winkowski will have to be those guys to piece together.
The thing with Houck is all the analytics say that Houck should be in the bullpen.
110%.
Yeah.
110%.
Yeah. Because of that, fine. He can be
his statistical value once he reaches that 3rd time through the lineup plummets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if we didn't have Kenley, which is looks like since they traded Schreiber.
Schreiber.
Yeah,
we traded Schreiber.
Yeah. Since we traded Schreiber, it looks like we're hanging on to Kenley now. If we didn't have him, I would like them to see like try Houck as the closer. Just at this point,
I mean, he is good. He has
electric stuff too.
Yeah.
And he has electric stuff. I think you give him an inning and give that kind of bounce.
But it doesn't even need to be the closer. Use him as an eighth. You need to use him because he does have elite stuff. If you use him in those high leverage spots where guys are seeing him for the first time, he has a nasty fastball. He has a mean slider. Guys seeing that for the first time could shit their pants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This year, if he's going in the bullpen, I'd love to see him as the eighth inning guy
later.
You know who came up with the Red Sox and actually debuted as a starter and ended up being one of the best closers in franchise history? It's Papelbon.
Yeah.
Came up as a starter and then just transitioned and it worked.
That's how some dudes are. You're just a beast the first time through the lineup.
Yeah, you have that, and if you have and to be a late inning guy, 8th, 9th inning guy, you got to have an electric arm nowadays. There's no Trevor Hoffmans anymore.
Yeah,
like you have to have an out pitch that's just dominant.
Yeah,
and you could say the Houck has two.
Yeah,
you could say his fastball and his slider are both really dominant pitches.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Bayo, Giolito, Crawford, Pivetta, Whitlock. That's what they're saying is predicting the starting five would be.
The Whitlock one is my prediction. That's not what Cora has said. He has openly said that Winkowski, Whitlock, and Houck are going to battle for that spot.
Winkowski scares me. I don't want Winkowski.
I don't like him as a starter. I liked him as a long reliever guy.
He was nails as an early relief guy last year.
Yeah.
So
I think he had it was some very hand-picked stat, but he had the most holds, in most seventh inning holds or something in the league or something like that.
So Chris, I'm looking at it. I do see kind of where you're coming from. My only issue with this rotation, say Whitlock is the 5, Pivetta 4, you're asking a lot of guys to make jumps that you don't know if they are going to.
So I'm not even necessarily talking about the starting. So with the starting rotation, right? We pretty much know what we're getting out of Bayo at this point. We know he's a dude. He should hopefully take a jump forward this year. Mm-hmm. Giolito, hopefully he just needed to change his scene, get a contract under his belt. He
looked pretty good today.
He did. Not having to worry about where he's going to be playing next. He's working for that contract. He was all over the place last year. They aired out his laundry on air today, saying he was going through a divorce last year. He was just a mess. So we're going to attribute his shitty year last year to that. Crawford was great last year.
He was solid.
He really turned it on.
Well, he's a horse too. He 8 innings.
Is he sucked at Fenway?
It's true.
He was so bad at Fenway.
It's true. But again, hopefully another jump forward this year. Now that he got those starts under his belt, he's going into a full-time starter role now. Pivetta, really just hoping he can be the same guy that he was as a reliever, as a starter. Mm-hmm. It didn't translate last year. Hopefully with a whole offseason to prep for being a starter, he'll kind of figure that out. And then the other 3 guys, no matter which way you go with it, they're all guys who have big league experience. We know what we're going to get out of them. Yeah. That wasn't necessarily my point. My point was more about the bullpen and the guys that they brought in and the way that they're going to try and piece this bullpen together. Because I was looking at it. We saw a lot of guys pitch yesterday and some today that are going to be fighting for those bullpen spots. I mean, we got guys like Isaiah Campbell, who came over from Seattle, who was really good in a limited amount of time. Cooper Criswell, who we got as a free agent from Tampa Bay. Justin Slayton, who came in from the Rule 5 draft. We actually had the Mets draft him, and we traded for him to get him over. He's a fucking beast. So they were saying they're really excited about him. Guys like Chris Murphy threw today. Murphy was probably the only one that threw today that has even a little bit of chance of cracking that rotation. Weissert maybe has an outside chance, but the guys. Go ahead.
Got a bullpen guy that we haven't touched on that will be ready in June, July is
Liam Hendricks.
Signing Liam Hendricks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who again, I like the signing. I mean, the dude is a dog. Everybody knows that. He's a gamer. But again, being stingy with money and then going out and signing players and basically paying them to rehab.
Yeah.
For half a year, 3/4 of the year, in Michael Fulmer's case, a full season is mind-boggling to me.
Yep.
It makes absolutely no sense. I don't know, like, is there some sort
really
of weird
somebody was
insurance fraud?
Jump on him before that.
Is there like some weird sort of insurance thing that if he doesn't play, they get a certain amount back? Like, that's all I can think is that there's some weird silver lining in like their contracts that it's insured or something like that. Because why, like Liam Hendricks, I get he's going to be ready in the end of June, early July, and then that's an electric bullpen arm. And that's a guy who I think fits in perfect with the Red Sox too. He just seems like a Red Sox guy. Yeah. But for the other guys where you're like, I mean, it's James Paxton all over again. Would they pay him for like a year and a half? He didn't even fucking play.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, Liam Hendricks definitely something to be excited about. But guys that haven't even thrown yet this spring that are in the bullpen that can kind of shore up. Zach Kelly's coming back after he got hurt early last year. He was really good.
He was nails before he got injured.
Work he got.
Yeah, so he blew out his elbow or something, right?
It's something
it wasn't his elbow.
Happened they thought was
major.
Like
muscular or not.
Didn't end up being as big of a deal as they thought. He took the rest of the year off, rehabbed it, and now he's good to go. He threw today. But Kenley, Chris Martin, guys like that. Touching on this Justin Slayton guy again, I guess they really liked him enough to have the Mets take him in the Rule 5 draft, but he has to stay with Boston on the major league team for the entire year. Otherwise, he has to be traded or something like that. Weird.
I think it's a full release.
Yeah,
and I think it's a full release, and the Red Sox have to pay his salary.
So it's the same thing with who was it? Noah Song last year. Yeah, the Cardinals picked him up and then finally released him, and he came back to the Red Sox. I think
that was a bizarre one.
That one was. I think that one was
drafted by the Phillies. The Phillies kept him under contract, and he went into like the Marines or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then came back and Rule 5'd like 2 times. Really weird.
I think that one was all just Dombrowski fucking with the Red Sox a little bit.
It was, yeah. Because I actually believe he's back with the Phillies.
Who, Dombrowski?
No, Noah Song.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Let me look.
I
was like, Dombrowski, they'd be dumb to get rid of him. What do you mean?
Noah Song. No, he's with the Red Sox.
Yeah, no, he's in the Red Sox.
He ended up, okay. For some reason, I thought that he went full circle back.
Yeah, Rule 5 picked Noah Song back. Red Sox map out a plan for his development. Was being ramped up with the Phillies to join their bullpen. The Red Sox are stretching Song out as a starter in High A Greenville. So
that's the only thing with him is he's been in minor league development how long?
He's 26 right now.
This was in August of last year, so assuming he'll probably start the year in Double-A this year, hopefully.
You got at 26 years old and you haven't even cracked the major league roster yet.
Well, not cracked it, not even sniffed it.
Yeah.
His big thing was he's the military guy though. That's why he hasn't.
Yeah, it's very
He's been in the Navy, so he's had to leave to go.
Yeah.
Like in 2022, he pitched for Navy.
Bizarre. Right.
Yeah, it's just
I'm sorry. No, in 2019, he was 22 when he pitched for Navy.
Yeah.
All right.
So talking about the Red Sox a little bit, which is what this podcast was initially supposed to be. So we can just kind of keep going on that. The next point on the agenda was the Red Sox 26-man opening day roster. So if we want, we can just run through this really quick if you guys want. I printed out the 40-man. We can all just say yes or no on if we think they're going to be there or not. Try and keep tabs on how many you say yes to because you're only allowed 26 guys, so don't be a fucking cheater.
All right.
Okay.
I'm saying yes to everybody, and then I'm making cuts.
I already have mine making cuts. All right. I have mine listed out already, so I won't say I'll touch on mine.
You wrote a whole blog about yours.
Sure did. Brian Bayo.
Yes.
Brennan Bernardino.
Yes.
Yep.
Isaiah Campbell.
No.
Yes.
Jared's
I think yes.
I don't even know who that is.
He's the guy we got from Seattle.
I was just looking at like the roster, and this was a point I was gonna make, but I miss the days of like having that person, like that name on the roster.
We have Raffy, dog.
So
Okay, no, outside of the
translation. I
to
missed
make
when I
it
knew what
neutral.
who the players were.
Yeah, you don't know any of them now.
He's a big Nats fan now. He's on top of his Nats fan shit. All right. Cutter Crawford.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cooper Criswell.
I'm gonna say no.
No. Jared?
No.
No,
like,
that
who?
is.
Lucas Giolito.
Yes.
Yes, he better be.
All right. Wikelman Gonzalez.
Yes.
You look good today.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, I'll
Cam, are
say
you
yeah.
off your fucking rocker, dog? The dude's 21 and hasn't even sniffed double or triple A yet.
Don't
I
care.
was
Put him
thinking
on the
yet, but he
roster.
could. Yeah, I'll say no for him. Actually, I could see him starting in AAA though.
Yeah.
He seems like he'd be a tall, lanky fellow.
He's 6 foot, 167.
167. Yeah.
Tall and lanky, huh? Liam
4 inches
Hendricks
taller than me, and I got 20
obviously.
pounds on him, so that's tough.
Liam
No,
Hendricks
Liam Hendricks will
obviously
be in
is
the
a no.
26 man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Tanner
Yeah.
Houck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joe Jakes.
No, I don't think he'll start in Worcester. I think.
Yes.
Okay.
I say no.
Okay. Kenley.
Yes.
Yep.
He's a moose. 265? Oh my god.
Jesus Christ,
Whoa.
Jared.
What the hell? What happened?
What?
Wait.
Did
Did you-
see that?
Hold on a minute.
What?
Did it work for everyone? Or is it just you?
No.
It's just Sam.
Oh, that's
Okay.
unfortunate.
Moving on. Sam's got the power.
What is it?
Alrighty.
Oh, please do it. Oh.
Damn. Zach Kelly.
Yes.
Third.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris Martin.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brian Mata.
No.
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 Blue Sox legend.
Jesus,
Brian
Jared.
Mata.
For fuck's sake, get with the program.
It's like, who's that?
I'm guessing.
Chris Murphy.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Luis Perales.
No.
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 Nick Pavetta.
Yes.
Yes.
Better be.
20
Justin
years old.
Slayton.
No.
No.
You guys don't think you think he's
I
going to
don't
go
think
back?
so. I think he'll start in Worcester.
He can't.
Oh, that's the Rule 5?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a.
I mean,
Oh,
then he'll have to
then
be.
yes, he has to be.
That's an automatic yes.
Brandon Walter.
No.
No. He was awful last
No.
year.
He looks like a geek.
Greg Wiesert.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice mustache. I say yes.
Okay.
I told you I'm here for comedic value. That's what I provide to this.
Garrett Whitlock.
Yes.
Yes.
Josh Winkowski.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for pitchers. Catchers. Tyler Heineman.
Nope.
No.
Reese McGuire.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Opening day catcher.
Connor Wong.
Yes.
Yes.
No, Wong is catching Bayo on opening day.
Yeah.
Let's be
Tyler
real.
Heineman's 5'10". Jeez.
All right,
He's
going
also
to
old,
infielders.
for retirement.
This was tricky for me. And when I broke this down on the blog, I went back and forth on this thing a million times. Tristan Cassis, obviously.
No.
We all, okay. Bobby Dahlbeck.
Yeah.
He starts in Worcester again. Send him
Yeah.
straight back to
No. I
Worcester.
got no.
Yeah, I'll say no.
Okay. Rafi, we're not even going to talk about.
Yes.
Romy Gonzalez.
No.
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 Vaughn Grisham.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
They'd be dumb. That'd be the stupidest move ever.
David Hamilton.
He can play
I'm
outfield
going to say
too,
yes.
can't he?
I'm going to say yes.
Why do I feel like he's played outfield?
I'm going to
Yeah.
say no.
Okay. I think he can play a little outfield, yeah.
I'm saying
He's also,
yes for him.
if he gets full play, once he starts getting full playing time, he could steal 70 bags in a year. Dude got
100%.
absolute burners.
Adam Magpok.
No. Who the
Huh?
fuck is
No.
that guy?
What'd you call me?
He's 18 and he's on the 40 man. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Wow. Good for that guy.
Pablo Reyes.
Yes.
My guy Pablo is a yes.
And not TV time today. Not TV.
That shit was hysterical.
Trev.
No.
Mhm. MVP-esque Trevor Story season incoming. He's going to hit 30
And then-
bombs this year.
Last infielder, Enmanuel Valdez.
No.
Yes.
Well, I also cheated. I got to take 2 pitchers
Hold
away.
on, Jerry's got to answer. You got to take
no.
2 pitchers away? Why?
Yeah, I took 2 pitchers away. I was at 24 people, and we need 3 outfilders.
Well, you need more than 3, but go on.
We need at least
I think
3
you
to
need
start.
5 for an active roster.
Jesus, Cameron. Wilyer Abreu.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually have Wilyer Abreu in the starting lineup on opening day.
Really? Over who?
I knew that because
O'Neal?
I read your blog.
I have it written down. I'll get into it. Jarren Duran.
Yes.
Tyler O'Neill.
Yes.
Sedan Rafaela.
Yes.
No.
I'm going to say no, only because I think they're going to play the fucking service time game with him.
Yep.
That's
Robbie
fair.
Ref.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Masataka.
Yes.
So that's the breakdown of the 40-man. I'll run through mine really quick because I wasn't saying yes or no. So for pitchers, I have Bayo, Bernardino, Isaiah Campbell, Cutter Crawford, Zach Kelly, Giolito, Houck, Jansen, Martin, Pavetta, Slayton, Whitlock, and Winkowski. For catchers, Wong and McGuire, that's a given. Infielders, Cassis, Devers, Grissom, Dahlbeck, Story, and Pablo. And then outfielders, Duran, O'Neill, Refsnyder, Abreu, and Masataka. So I also have Rafaela starting the year in Worcester. So there's that. So next, is there anything else we want to touch on with the Red Sox real quick?
Pissed off they're going to play the fucking service time game with Rafaela. Just bring him up at this point.
So my thing is with him is obviously could he use a little more development? Yes. And then they're also hiding that behind, well, Jarren Duran did have a pretty good year last year. He has the major league experience. Let's start him and give.
Duran should be outfield.
You should have an outfield of Duran, Rafaela, and O'Neill. Left, right, left, center, right.
Oh,
I think Wilyer is more likely to play right, honestly.
So let me give you the quick rundown based on what I've read for the opening day lineup. So I had Duran in center, Trev at short, Raffy at third, Cassis at first, Massa DHing, O'Neill in left, Wilyer in right, Vaughn at second, and then Wong catching. And then Bayo as the starter.
Yep.
With Bob Stopp, Ref, Snyder, Reese, and Pablo on the bench.
So way too early. Who you think they're going to trade? Because they have to trade a fucking outfielder.
If they don't trade goddamn Balby Dahlback this season.
How long do we have O'Neill for? Is he just this season?
I don't know.
No, I think Tyler O'Neill. Let's see. Contract. 1 year, 5.8.
So maybe not then. Never mind.
So
they could trade O'Neill if they're out of it at the deadline.
Yeah, maybe. So we'll just skip over the free agents. Not a lot's really happened with that anyway, other than Bellinger. 3 years, $80 million. La-di-da.
Where'd he go?
I called that one
back to the Cubs.
Yeah,
I called that one. He has an opt-out option after the first 2 years, so he might only be in Chicago for 1 year.
I mean, that'd be pretty weird if they gave him an opt-out after the end of his contract.
Anyway.
How old is he?
He's got to be getting 30? Up there a little bit, yeah.
He's probably like 30, I think, 29, 30.
All right, so move on. We'll switch things up a little bit. We are going to take a little bit of a look into the Bruins. This is right in Jerry's wheelhouse. Jerry, what's been going on with Boston lately?
Cam, are they giving you as much agita as they're giving me?
Can I throw out a little stat I saw about the Bruins this morning?
Giving me a
good one or a bad one?
The Bruins lead the NHL with 8 losses after entering the third period with a 2 or more goal lead.
Oh yeah, they give up. They're clear as day. They just give up.
Yeah.
You know how many overtime losses they have?
I think they have the most in the league, don't they?
Right? 13, and it's not even the most. The Islanders have the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 14.
Oh, wow.
That's insane.
But 13, I think like one other team is in double digits other than the Islanders. Jackets have 10. Kings have 10. and Kraken have 11. We have 13 overtime losses.
Yeah.
And yet we're still 34, 12, and 13. That's pretty wild.
But see, this is what makes me nervous, is because if they truly, and I think we can all attest to they're off to a better start this season than we all expected. Last year they went on the run, blew it in the first round. This year we were like, okay, they'll start slow, they'll be in the mix, whatever. But they started off really hot. Going into the playoffs, you can't lose in overtime.
Yeah.
So if you show that in the regular season,
you can just be going home early.
So like if they're showing that now, that doesn't give me much confidence as they have however many games left.
So my only, I guess, shining light you could say with this is I'd rather them go through the hiccup now and figure out what the hell is going on at this point in the season than last year when they decided they couldn't figure it out in round one of the playoffs.
So I 1,000% agree with you.
Looking at
I didn't realize they lost to the Canucks yesterday.
Yeah. In overtime.
Yeah, it was 2-0 when I stopped watching it in the third period.
Yeah. They're 3-7 since the All-Star break.
Wasn't it
and that's what I was going to say.
7 minutes left last night?
Yes. It was pretty close to the end of the game. Yes.
Yikes. Just looking at the conference standings, the Eastern Conference, right? So everybody surrounding them. Rangers are on a 10-game win streak. Panthers are 8-2 in their last 10. Leafs 8-2 in their last 10. Canes 7-3. Red Wings 7-2-1. And then Boston 3-3-4.
You know when the Leafs are doing better than you, it's a problem.
I mean, everybody around us seems to be trending in the right direction at the right time, while Boston seems to be trending in the wrong direction at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of been the story of the last 3 or 4 years, though.
The only thing they have going for them, though, if you look like league-wide, the top 4 teams in the league all have 80, 81, 81, and 82 points. So, like, it's all relatively close. But, like, Chris, what you just said, all the other teams are starting to get hot now, and the Bruins are, like, the train's, like, falling off the tracks at this point. And, like, I found this article that it's like 3 issues that they've seen since the All-Star break. One is bad special teams because they've been terrible lately. I mean, they haven't been the greatest all season, but more so since the All-Star break. They're starting games slow, and then they're not finishing games the way they should be.
Perfect. I don't know how you expect to. It's kind of interesting. They have the record they do where they start games slow and also can't finish out games. So when are they playing good that allows them to win games?
They used to come out the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning of the season.
Montgomery I think it was either yesterday or Friday. He was like, the first period, he essentially said the first period we were awful. We came out slow. We weren't playing well. Second period, we got a little bit better. And then he was like, in the third, we played our best, but they still ultimately lost. So it's like that, like, you have to play all 20 minutes of each period, especially if you want to go on a run in the playoffs and not disappoint us all like last year.
Yeah, it's like I said, it seems to be the kind of same theme the last 3-4 seasons. There's just no gumption at the end of games and at the end of the season. It just kind of culminates.
For sure, what's happened is like at even last year too, when they were fucking world beaters during the regular season, they can't come back from the All-Star break hot. They haven't done that in years. Where it's like I feel like every time around this time we're talking about they're collapsing in on themselves. They're collapsing in on themselves. For whatever reason, something after the All-Star break, they can't pick it back up again. And it's definitely not a coaching thing at this point because it was under what's his name? Cassidy and Montgomery now. So it's happened under both the last 2 coaches they've had. At this point, I feel like it's a personnel thing, and I don't know who it is. I think you might be seeing the fact that Marchand's their captain, and I don't think he should have been one in the first place, anyways. But I don't know.
You don't think he should have been the captain?
No.
Who do you think should have been the captain?
I kind of don't disagree with that.
I think it should have been McAvoy.
I just don't think he is. I don't think he's the right kind of player to make your captain.
You can't get. I understand he's the longest tenured Bruin. He was the assistant captain under Bergeron. I get that.
Yeah.
You can't give a guy whose nickname is the Rat the captain, the C. Like that's like that's just. You want
fair.
someone as a captain to be able to look at and be like, okay, that is the example we're trying to set. And I don't know. He has a nickname of being a rat for a reason.
Speaking of personnel things, I didn't think I would ever want to say this because it's been like their cornerstone the past couple of seasons, but I think they're probably going to have to deal one of the goalies to get
Told you
something in return. I don't even want to know.
Why? You're gonna stop fucking around with the Excel sheet, or
oh god! Then the running theme of
holy shit! I'm gonna come.
You can see it in Sam's window, so that's cool.
Right, can I blow this up? Let's see.
On that note,
hold on.
Oh my god! I didn't even see the thing under the Bruins.
Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
The Celtics, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Celtics are just looking like fucking...
Complete opposite side of the coin. Celtics, the only hope in this city.
45-12 at this point, 32-6 in conference. So they've lost 6 games in conference all year. I mean, they basically lost one playoff series. They're just absolutely... 26-3 at home. That's fucking lethal.
I feel like with the Bucks scuffling the way that they are, I feel like the East is just the Celtics to lose.
Bucks aren't even in second anymore. The Cavs are in second.
I know. Well, yeah. Ever since Doc Rivers took over the Bucks, what's their record? Like, isn't it like 3-12 or something horrible?
Hey, they're on a 2-game win streak. Don't hate. But yeah, the Celtics obviously just absolutely steamrolling everybody in their path. They've won 8 in a row, 9 of their last 10. They're just, I mean, they should absolutely dominate anybody that they play in the East, especially with Embiid hurt. Obviously, the plan is for him to be back by playoffs, but the Sixers aren't what they normally are. Bucks, I mean, they got Dame, but 37-21 with Giannis and Dame kind of leading that team. Not really where you want to be. Cavs have a good squad, but I don't think they'll be able to compete with Boston if it came down to a best-of-7 series. And then I don't think anybody really on the West side is going to be able to hold the Celtics.
Looks like just Denver,
honestly. Right? Denver's in 4th.
Oh,
so shit, Minnesota's in 1st, OKC in 2nd. Shout out Mark Daignault. Clippers in 3rd. Way to dox us, attaboy. And then Denver in 4th. So, I mean, obviously playoff time, anything can happen, but Celtics are just looking like absolute savages at the moment.
Did you guys see what Tatum said the other day, too? About, like, not having to be the player who scores the most points in every game?
No.
Like, talking about, like, how the team dynamic is now since they added Porzingis and Holiday. Like,
yeah, and he basically say he's like, I'm giving up, or he didn't really directly say it, but essentially in a roundabout sense was like, I'd rather win championships than MVPs.
Yeah. Like he's saying like, I don't need to score. Like, that's not important to me. Like, he wants to keep winning. And I think that just speaks to how the dynamic on the team has shifted.
I think that speaks to how much he's matured too as a player and a person. Because you asked him 3 years ago, it would have been all about MVPs. I think even 3 years ago he was talking more about MVPs than championships. And I guess at the beginning of this year, it's come out he called a players only meeting and said, "First things first, we don't lose the Garden." Well, as Chris,
have they? Not really.
Lost 3 times. He said, Chris said at the Garden, back that shit up immediately.
Well, I mean, they just absolutely dropped dick on the Knicks.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Celtics also have 3 guys averaging over 20 points a game.
Yeah.
3.
I mean,
3.
The driving factor of them being championship or bust will be Porzingis' health in the end. If he stays healthy, no one's gonna fucking beat them.
Well, Tatum too. Tatum has had health problems down the stretch deep in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
Yeah. with his one of his arms, right? Was it his shooting arm or his wrist?
Yeah.
Well, it was just different. So one year was his leg, one year was his arm.
The year they lost to the Warriors in the championship, he rolled his ankle in like Game 4 of the championship.
Right. Yeah, and then I think last year it was either his arm or his wrist.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
So, but yeah, that's the thing with him. I don't know about Porzingis. I haven't really followed his injuries. But with Tatum, at least, it's always been like freak things that he's gotten injured on. I don't want to say freak things, but it's like he fell on a guy's foot, rolled his ankle in the playoffs. I think the arm thing. I think some guy like ran into his arm at the wrong way and bent his wrist or his whole arm back. It's just freak injuries like that happen that I wouldn't really say the guy's injury prone.
See, like to me though, I like, especially if it's in the playoffs, like I get like an ankle injury or something that prevents your mobility, but like if you hurt your arm and it's not broken, grow a set and rest when it's done.
Yeah, no, he's played through. It's just you could tell he's a different player. He was a different player after he got injured the last 2 times. He's played through everything. It's just you can tell he's a different player afterwards.
Right.
And that's what's affected him.
Well, hopefully bringing in fucking Tingus Pingus to the mix, we can seal the deal this year and wrap that thing up.
I think him alone, really the biggest thing he brought is it spreads out the offense so much more.
Dude's stat line. I mean, he's averaging 26 and 2 a game.
Yeah.
I hate saying this. I think because I do like the player and I like the person as like he seems like a good person. But the best thing Brad Stevens did was getting rid of Smart for this team.
I don't think you can put it that way.
Marcus is hurt right now anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think you can put it that way. I think you put it as the best thing they could have done was bring in Porzingis. Because in reality, if you could have Porzingis and Smart, you take it. So
I don't know.
I also think with Smart being gone, I think part of the team dynamic shifted.
That's exactly. I think like, with Smart,
that's what I was trying to. That's what I was like getting at with like Tatum saying like I don't need to be scoring 50 points a game. Whereas I feel like that mentality, like team wide, was different with Smart. Like Smart was always like I want the ball. I want to take the last shot. It was all him.
Well, I think Brown was a lot like that before too. I think he's kind of turned the page a little bit where he understands working as a unit when you have 3 scorers like that is way more efficient than just relying on one guy. You know.
Well, I think the difference you see between Brown and Tatum is Brown. It felt like Brown wanted. He knew he had to get his shots because he was fighting for that Supermax contract. Whereas it feels like Tatum feels like, I'm fucking getting that Supermax contract. It's like, I know I'm getting it. So it's just a matter of when, not if. Whereas Brown, it did feel like Brown, it was, are you actually going to get this contract or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, didn't know if anyone else had anything to add. That was. So next
They're our
thing,
only hope. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, they are our only hope. I agree. Give us a reason to potty.
Give us another parade
for real. Good. So we got back on track there a little bit with that. Ate up a little bit of time. Last thing we had on the agenda was the Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore of the week is broadcasters, top broadcasters of all time. You guys all suck.
Stop fucking around with the Excel sheet.
And stop saying all you guys. I ain't doing anything over here.
Jared, I'm watching.
You're leading this entourage. What are you talking about?
What entourage?
This.
I don't run the business.
Hey, this is your Mount Rushmore, Jerry.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, that.
So give us a little in-depth touch on what you meant by this Mount Rushmore.
Well, so yesterday when I was listening to 98.5, they were just talking about like who they liked the most, like who they liked listening to the most when it comes to calling games in Boston. So that's why I brought it up, and I started thinking like, ooh, like who were my favorites? And then obviously I sent it in the group text, and then it was like, why don't we expand it to not just Boston? And then once you open that door, there's you start thinking of a lot more like on the national level or even like team specific level,
right?
Just outside of Boston. So
can we all on 3 give our 1-1s because they're all going to be exactly the same?
Are they?
I feel like they should be.
Is it a
I'll
Red
wait.
Sox?
I guess I thought 1-1 was a no-brainer.
My 1-1 is I just love listening to him.
Well, that's how I know it's not the guy I picked.
Okay, so what does that mean? You don't like listening to your number one?
No, you'll understand when I get to him.
I have a feeling.
All right, so why don't you go first? I'm very intrigued now.
I know. I think I know.
I mean, usually the person who's fine. I'll go first.
Okay.
I mean, I'll
my 1-1 is Jerry Remy.
Oh, okay. He's on mine too.
He's my 1-1, like unequivocally. That's why Cam's like, I love listening to him. Well, Jerry Remy unfortunately passed away, so I can't listen to him anymore.
Well, mine is also Jerry, but I love listening to him.
Yeah,
but
Jerry Remy's 1-1. Obviously the time with him and Don Orsillo is like the golden age of Red Sox broadcasts. Like just hysterical.
When they fell off the table.
Yeah, fell off the table. The one where the guy throws the pizza and drills the dude in like the back of the head. The one where they're like zooming in on the fans and the guy just reaches over and grabs the girl's boobs and then Jerry Remy just can't get it together. He's just like pissing his pants laughing. Just all time. I mean, that was like my entire childhood. Like, I don't associate anyone more with the Red Sox from my childhood more so than Jerry Remy.
Johnny Damon.
Damon.
Just associate him with the Red Sox more than anyone.
Why?
It's disgusting. Take 5.
Manny
take
Ramirez cutting off his throw from the outfield.
Chris, can I mute you? Because you should be muted for a little
So
bit.
with that said, off of like commentators or broadcasters that reminded me of like my childhood, number 2 is my guy. Chris and Cam know this, is Joe Castiglione.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Big Joe Castiglione fan. Still to this day, I don't think I'd rather listen to anyone else call a Red Sox game than him. Just like iconic. I can remember the 2004 World Series Game 4. I was at my aunt and uncle's house at the beginning of the game, and they hated the Fox broadcast so much they had it on TV muted with a boombox in the back of the room with Joe Castiglione calling the game.
That's awesome.
And it was like always a second early, so I remember when Johnny Damon hit the leadoff home run in Game 4 in St. Louis, and like hearing it on the radio, then seeing it on TV. So yeah, Joe Castiglione's my 2. Number 3, another Red Sox one, didn't last as long. Another one is like one of my guys is Dennis Eckersley. I love Dennis Eckersley just because he's so out there with like the mannerisms and baseballisms and stuff. Like I feel like the way I talk about baseball is very similar to how he talks about baseball. It's just really fucking weird and out there. I've also met him a couple times.
Time to party.
Yep.
Eckersley's
You went bridge.
Top 5 guys I'd love to just sit down, have a beer, and talk baseball with.
I've met him like I think 2 or 3 times. He's a really cool guy.
The best part of that whole sequence is just Mookie hits the ball and he goes, "Yay!"
When it like Harry cheese, Harry lettuce.
Yeah.
That ball had hair. Like just weird shit. Going bridge is another just great. Like hitting a home run, going bridge for whatever reason, just so smooth. My
You'd
last
have to
guy
rewind to hear what he said.
What's that?
You'd have to rewind to be like, did I just hear him?
But that's
correctly?
why it was the best. He was one of those guys who either loved him or you hate him.
Yeah.
I fucking loved him. My last one is a non-Boston sports one. It is Dick Vitale. To me, like
Dickie V.
Like Dick Vitale is college basketball in my mind. I mean, just like, oh yeah, baby, like that shit. Like, he's just a fucking man. Do you want to do honorable mentions now, or should we wait till the end?
I'd wait just in case.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, we'll wait till the end, and if they don't pop up, yeah. All right. Okay. How about you, Jerry? Since it was yours, right. You take it next.
I'll run through mine quick. Obviously, Jerry Remy was at the top of my list as well. Mm-hmm. Big hockey fan, so I had to throw Doc Emmerich on there.
That was one of my honorables.
Like if you are a hockey fan and you hear that voice, you know exactly who it is.
Yep.
Another baseball one that it's kind of touched on it with like teams outside of Boston. Vin Scully like you associate him with the Dodgers.
Another honorable I had.
However many years he was with them. And then to go football, I try not to listen to them, but the one I always think of is Al Michaels when it comes to football. I feel like it's just another like voice you hear and you recognize. But those were my 4.
You fucking dick.
So I'll go because Sam said 2 of mine and Jared said 1 of mine. So
Chris is like, my list is gone.
Chris, I hope I don't have the same list as you. If I do, I'm sorry. But I got obviously Jerry Remy and then Joe Castiglione. Those two that was just Red Sox childhood. I feel like for everyone who lived in Massachusetts, that's your Red Sox childhood. Third, I did also have Vin Scully. And I feel like one Mount Rushmore, not having this guy in would be an issue just because of the amount of games he called, the amount of important games he has been a part of and has called. As much as people hate him, I'm sorry.
Don't say it.
Is Joe Buck.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
And on that note, everybody, thank you for listening and have a good night.
I'm sorry, Chris.
If you're going to make that call say his dad
Buck
instead of Joe Buck.
No.
Say Jack Buck instead of Joe Buck.
No. Sorry.
Swung on, grounded back to Folk. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it.
I'm going to get another video from Chris. Look at all of our reactions when Cam said this.
Yeah, it was just not good. So I'll go through mine real quick. I put Don Orsillo / Remdog on mine, just the dynamic duo. I also had Vin Scully, also had Al Michaels, and then my 4th one I had Chris Berman.
That ball's headed to Tacoma!
I just think, I don't know, for whatever reason, I always associate Chris Berman with the longest yard, not even really games that he called. And he's like, thanks, Chris. Now give me your wallet. And he's like, what?
You guys have any honorables to throw out there?
I do. I had 2.
I had a couple.
Go ahead, Chris.
So one of my honorables was Dick Vitale. And then the other one that we speak on basically regularly, I threw him on there just for the meme, Mr. Harry Carey.
Harry Carey.
Harry Carey. Those are the only 2 that I had on there.
Now I get the HC that you were talking about, Sam.
What's that, Jared?
Now I get the HC that you were talking about earlier.
Well, that was me. That was Chris. Yeah.
Oh.
Because I have like a ironic, funny honorable that's not actually one of the best ones ever.
Oh, God, right,
please do tell.
I have to pull up his name because I don't remember the top of my head. It is Tom Brenneman.
Oh, is he the guy from? I think I know. Yeah,
that's the Castellanos guy.
Actually, I saw
their ball swung on to left field. That'll be a home run for Castellanos.
We'd be beside ourselves to not give an honorable mention out to Dallas Braden. Oakland A's legend.
Isn't done enough. One guy I do want to give it my other honorable, just because he had basically all his iconic calls are from one season. But Dave Niehaus with like the 95 Mariners. We had the my oh my, it just continues. And he also was a break out the rye bread. It's Grand Salami time. That's Dave Niehaus. So just iconic phrases. Who's the I was gonna say Matt Vasgersian, but fuck Matt Vasgersian. I forget the other guy's name. He does baseball. Well, he does baseball and football. I forget his name. But there's a couple like
get off TikTok
ones, but they don't really hit quite like the locals. What the hell did you say?
Told Cam to get off TikTok. I just got a notification he viewed my profile.
Weird. That was fucking hours ago.
30 seconds ago. That's pretty crazy.
Wild.
Nah.
Anyone else? Any more honorables?
We got any ideas for next week's?
I had 2. And
you got honorables? All right.
Yeah. So these are more like funny ones. Like I just love what they do. One of them, hockey related, is Don Cherry. just with the suits and the outfits and stuff he would wear.
Isn't it Don Cherry?
Yeah, Don Cherry.
I thought you said Don Jerry.
No.
That dude's a fucking maniac.
And then another one, obviously, I had to go college football, but Lee Corso and putting on the mascot heads.
That's the Dick Vitale of college football.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? Who's the he's the other hockey guy, and he always wears like crazy suits. It's not Don Cherry. The other guy.
Hockey thing. I think a lot of people in hockey wear crazy suits.
I don't know hockey, so I don't fucking know.
Hockey announcer with crazy. Literally, I type in hockey announcer with crazy.
It's just Don Cherry.
It's Don Cherry.
There's another guy, I can't remember who it is.
Isn't his name like Peter something?
Oh, Craig Sager.
Craig Sager.
Oh,
Craig Sager
NBA,
is
wasn't
who I'm
he?
thinking of.
Yeah, he's basketball.
All right,
that's
Craig Sager.
Yeah, but Craig Sager's the other one. He just always wore like crazy suits.
Didn't Kevin Garnett tell him that he had to like burn a suit or something?
Sounds right.
Pretty sure he told him he had to set it on fire.
We have any recommendations for next week's Mount Rushmore? Got any ideas? Anything?
Off the top of my head, no.
All right. Well, we can talk about it the week going forward.
All-time Cam Lakature hairdos.
You just do Cam
Lakature
had
moments. Like 2 of them, so
you do Cam Lakature moments.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to air those.
All-time Cam Lak moments.
I would have to put some thought into that.
We're not airing
really would.
those.
Really would.
We can do that as a private one.
Nah, that's no fair.
It's the fun in that.
I was honestly I thought it was movies.
We do have GTA characters still.
Ooh.
We haven't done that one yet.
2 then. GTA characters, sports movies.
All right. Oh,
that's
going to be a tough one.
The same for that shit.
For sports movies?
Yeah.
All right, can we eliminate the one then?
Sports
movies other than The Sandlot.
All right, fine.
Oh.
All right, fine.
All right.
Deal.
All right, is that what we're going with next week, or we want to do the GTA characters since that?
No, let's
do sports movies.
All right, sports movies it is next week. You guys got anything else?
Go Sox.
Go Sox.
To win the World Series. 2024 World Series champs. Boston
2 wins in one day with 2 different teams. Run it.
Yep.
All right. We'll catch y'all on the flip. We out.
Later.